Controversial influencer Andrew Tate was arrested earlier this month in Romania on suspicion of sex trafficking. But Tate's influence hasn't waned amongst some young British men who consider him to be a paragon of masculinity.
We're joined by one of those young men now, 20-year-old Jack Calvert, who attended Tate's Hustlers University, as well as Jess Gill, who isn't quite as impressed with him as Jack. Jack, I mean, look, I'm genuinely puzzled here. Andrew Tate is sort of considered to be, you know, a misogynist. I'm not even sure if he's a self-confessed misogynist. He's been arrested on suspicion of sex trafficking. He's talked about hitting, slapping and choking women and stopping them from going out. I mean, what on earth is there to admire about a man like that?
Well, thanks for having me on, firstly, but pretty much everything you said there is at least questionable at best. So, for example, you said he was a self-confessed misogynist. That's not particularly true. He's actually came out multiple times and said he isn't. And again, the same with the grabbing, choking, slapping. That was taken out of context, where he was asked a question if a woman attacked him in his own home, what he would do. So you've got to see a lot of these things that are being slandered across the media are actually false or taken out of context. And, you know, the line of questioning like that is kind of the problem, is people jump to the conclusions. They read, you know, they read the articles and they see the bad things and they don't see the motivational speaking he does and stuff like that.
So that's what I was going to ask you there, Jack. What was it you're drawn towards him on? I mean, you're on telly defending him. Why?
Yeah, that is a good question. If I'm honest, obviously the strong kind of masculine side of him, I suppose, is something that's quite a lot of young men, I guess, look up to. And you can't lie, the supercars and all of the kind of flashy money is something that is clearly appealing to lots of young men, I suppose, if you put it that way.
Wager that maybe Andrew Tate isn't as bad as people are trying to make him out to be.
I
want Jess to see if she now supports you, Jack. I'm seeing if you've got a convert in Jess here.
No, I still don't support Andrew Tate. I don't agree with this hedonistic attitude of just making money, just getting as many women as possible. And it's so surprising that many, quote, conservatives agree with him, when his ideals are anything but conservative. And I think this is an issue of making sex. Sex has always been a commodity, but it's been more of a high-valued commodity. It's been women get married and then they allow their partner to have sex with them. And now it's, you know, being taken out for a date is enough for women to be expected to put out. And I think that's completely wrong. And I think people like Andrew Tate take advantage of that.
Why do you think that people like Andrew Tate then are so getting such support amongst young men like Jack?
Because I think even though he does groom girls, it's terrible of what he does to women, he also grooms innocent boys, vulnerable boys. Many men, feel that they can't be ambitious in this society, that they can't approach women. And Andrew Tate has a solution for that, because we're taught by the British left and by progressives that women cannot be contacted because men are vile, men are terrible. And that's simply not the case. I think we need a more balanced discussion between both genders of how to approach each other respectful.
Can I ask Jack there? Jess said maybe young men are being groomed by Andrew Tate. Do you feel you have? Because there seems to be there's two different sides to him. You've been to the Hustle University, made some money, so there's this side that is telling you to go out there, and then there seems to be a very dark side to him. Have you been groomed?
I definitely wouldn't say I've been groomed. I feel like I've been shown a particular, I suppose, way of making money and a couple of things like that.
Like what? Give us some examples. Give us some examples of how you make money.
You know, it's things like retail arbitrage, you know, e-commerce, stocks, marketing, cryptocurrency, stuff like that is the main ways.
And how much have you made?
Roughly speaking, maybe between, well, I'd say £5,000 and £10,000.
In a year, in a week, in a month, in a day?
It was probably over the space of 2 or 3 months.
That's pretty good, isn't it? I mean, look, Jack, is there anything that Andrew Tate could do which would make you change your opinion of him? I mean, if he's found guilty of these sex trafficking charges, for example, would you say, well, actually, do you know what? I got him wrong. He is a wrong un, actually, after all, and I misjudged him more. Even if he were convicted, would you still actually come and defend him on our station?
If he was found guilty, I would happily come on here and hold my hands up and say, you know what, I misjudged him and he's a terrible person. Because the things he's been accused of are terrible, and I wouldn't stand by anyone who does that. However, personally, he's innocent until proven guilty, and I do believe what he says in that he is innocent.
Jack Calvert, Jess Gill, thank you so much indeed for joining us this morning. Fascinating conversation.